Hey guys, so welcome to the JV's Nature Walk. And today I'm going to show you some images that I took at Cromwell Valley Park. So I haven't posted in a while, mainly because I just got back from vacation a couple weeks back. And it takes a week to adjust to everything once you come back from vacation. So yeah, so that's what I've been up to recently. So yesterday I just went to Cromwell Valley Park and I didn't see too many wildlife. You know how the wintertime is. It's really difficult to find interesting animals to photograph and search. So I decided to do some macro photography. So this right here is some moths that are fallen on a log. Um, Love the green and the nice texture. It reminds me of rug. I think that's what we got the concept of carpets and rugs from, you know, looking at different moss and different moss textures on the forest floor. So we definitely get a lot of inspiration from nature and a lot of ideas from nature. So even if you touch it, this moss here, it feels like very soft. It feels just like rug and carpet if you really think about it, and actually looks like it. So yeah, so I found a lot of moss on my walks in the forest in Cromwell Valley Park. Different colors. Some were brighter than others. I decided to capture this. This is the first thing that sparked my attention. So yeah, another thing that I photographed is some tree bark. It's like a complete different from what you just saw earlier. Tree bark is definitely dry and brown, brittle, and cracks and all that stuff. It just went from um, feminine to masculine, just like that. I would say tree bark is definitely a masculine trait. Um, it is rough and strong, and that's how I would describe tree bark. Those little cracks kind of remind me of roads, like yeah, like roads to a city, or if you look at it from that perspective, it kind of does. So this interests me as well. Just looking at small diminutive details of what you find in the forest floor. Richie hike, you see stuff like this, and it's like I'm just gonna photograph and see what it looks like in the image. And I just see all kinds of different stuff. This is what I usually do around this time of year when it's you don't see a lot of action, but you can still find beautiful things when you walk. So yeah, I like the patches of white on top of the brown tree bark. I don't know what the white really is. Maybe that was the color, but now it's fading away. Now it's turning into a brownish color, or the brown of decay, as the cold air molecules are ripping away the death and life of the tree. And here is I thought this was a cattail plant or something, but I don't think this is a cattail. But it just reminds me of it. With this type of plant, you see like an open field habitat. I don't really know the name of this plant stem is, but yeah, I just saw this. I like the texture and the spiky um, little. I'm not sure what you call it, spindles at the end of this plant here. I love the little rock pebbles on the foreground and background. It reminds me of a sandy beach habitat, but I guess you can call it part of the Chesapeake Bay watershed, because Baltimore is not far from that. At least Cromwell Valley Park is, anyway. It's part of the same habitat. But it's interesting seeing if you go to different areas, you'll see some parks have this sandy sandy soil habitat. But then you go further inland of the United States, and you don't see that type of soil. The soil would be completely different. And I think that's because we're right by the Chesapeake Bay, we're right by the water, so you'll see that those type of soil, sandy habitats. And you believe this, like, I'll say maybe 50 or more years ago, there used to be more water in certain areas, but as time went on, the water has dried up, or been drained up, and that's why you'll see like remnants of water habitat that then dried up, and you see the remnants of the soil. This drew my attention as well. I love the nice texture of this dead leaf. I photographed it, was hanging from a tree. Um, this reminds me of the constriction of Saturn. It constricts the life. Um, you know, it just makes it smaller and weaker. And that's basically what winter is. It takes life back. And that's what nature does. It gives you life in the spring and summer, then it takes its energy back in the wintertime. You give, you receive. You reciprocate. That's how it works, right? So nature kind of reminds us of that. It's not always about taking, but it's also about giving and receiving. Do everything in moderation, of course. But yeah, I love even the little lines and the dry texture. I love that little S shape of that little stem on the leaf there. Looks really cool. I don't know if it was like close to the sun or not, but it was a little bright toward the left side of this leaf. So I toned it down a little bit. I think I photographed this in the open field habitat, and I saw a lot of leaves that looked just like this, and somewhere on the ground. But I found it easier to just photograph it from the tree because I didn't want to do too much bending. It was like 30 something degrees outside. So I think I spent out like 2 hours out here, and I just decided to go back home. It was like super cold. I'm glad I came out. I saw a lot of things that I usually don't pay attention to, like it was in the summertime. I love pine cones. I love photographing them. And pine cones remind me of wintertime, because of Christmas, pine trees and all that, decorating the tree and all that stuff. Beautiful. The shape of it is really interesting. It reminds me of a triangle, and the overall, how should I describe it? The texture is very interesting. I would say I don't know how to describe the texture of a pine cone. I mean, it is wood, but it's like it's been perfectly designed and created. It is weird that someone made this triangle and then they just kind of cut bits and pieces into different shapes, but all symmetrical at the same time. Nature is symmetrical and asymmetrical. So it's a balance of, there's no such thing as perfection, but symmetry can be viewed as that, at least from a human's perspective. I feel like nature is perfect the way it is because it balances itself out with symmetry and asymmetry, of even and odd. It's that balance of polarities that keeps things in check, keeps things in alignment, keeps things in equilibrium. That's what perfection is. Neutrality. Not being so far to one side, but being right in the middle of everything. I love the dry, dead leaves in the background as well. Adds to the photograph. This here is tree bracket fungus. Of course, there's different kinds of bracket fungus, but I saw this colors a lot when I was hiking. This bluish. It reminds me of what you call it. I was thinking about a crystal, kainite. Kainite is a blue crystal associated with the throat chakra. It's very brittle, so you don't want to soak it in water or anything. But the color of the crystal matches this color, and this was the first crystal I thought about when I saw this Brachyphagus fungus. I was also thinking about sapphire, but kyanite. If you Google kyanite, specifically the blue one. I know there's different colors of kyanite, but the blue one. So type blue kyanite, it matches the color of this Brachyphagus fungus. And I have blue kyanite at home, so this was the first thing I thought of. So I guess it's about the root chakra. I mean, the throat chakra. Just the color of it, and just blue. The lightest tinge blue color, light communication, light expression. If it was darker, then it would be more serious, more stern, more authoritative. But this is like more of an airy type of communication. At least that's what I'm getting from this, the colors of it, of this Brachyphagus fungus. Yeah. What else is? Then you can see a little bit of, it's like a bronze color in the middle of this Brachyphagus fungus. I'm not sure what that. This kind of reminds me of the rings of Saturn a little bit. It's really interesting. This here is moss and rocks. I like to think of this as Earth. This is what we live on, and this is what it looks like from a higher perspective. You got the beautiful green landscape. Then you got the rocky terrain. The only thing it's missing is water, but in this image here. But water is inside the green moss, so I always think of it as Earth. And the little lines that can be like roads or just cracks in the earth or valleys or the mountains. Then you got some dried up moss that's color like a brownish color that's dying away, but then you got the pure green, lime green, or yeah, say like that. And that's where all the moisture and water is. So different parts of the earth is dry, and other parts is moist, and well watered and well maintained. Like I said, it's symmetry and asymmetry. But yeah, I love the color and texture merging together, creating a beautiful, colorful texture image. I love how pale the rocks are here. Really, really, it helps the image. It helps the rocks stand out amongst the moss there. I don't know what it would look like if the rocks were a darker color. But yeah, it really stands out with the white rocks. And this was the highlight of my day, guys. This is a red fox footprint. So these footprints can range from 2 inches to 2.5, I'll say, or 2.25 inch. I think it's 2 inches in the front and 2 1/4 or 1/2 in the back of the front paw. So basically, how you can tell is a footprint. I mean, a red fox or any wild canine footprint is, if you can see I always say this: the X marks the spot. You can mentally create an X between the footprints, then it's definitely a red fox or a coyote. But this is a red fox because it's not that big of a footprint, and it's definitely 2 inches. Another thing too, wild canines they have a perfect, not a perfect, but it's a symmetrical footprint. Meaning it's like it's perfect symmetry. It looks well rounded. It's more of a rounded footprint like this. if it was a dog, it would be more wide, and you can mentally create an X between the paws. That's how I know this is a red fox footprint. And I've been studying this for some years, because I know the difference between a fox or a coyote or a dog footprint. But a fox and a coyote have similar footprints, except the coyote's footprint is a lot bigger. But yeah, this is a red fox. They always say this: if you find a footprint, then you're getting closer to the mammal. You're getting closer to the subject. So yeah, this year I had a great year. I photographs from red fox, and I got the footprints. And that's it, guys. So I hope you guys enjoy this beautiful macro photography video here at Como Valley Park. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Buy my books that you see in this image of love. I have them posted below the description. So buy my books, Nature's Inspiration, Inspiration Plants. Buy my prints as well on my website. You can see that in the link in below the description and on this image. Yeah, so buy them today, and like, comment, share, subscribe, guys. So next week, if the weather's optimal, I should be doing another video. If not, then I'll let you guys know. And I guess that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll see you guys. Hope I see you guys next week. And have a good day.